My stepmother unintentionally ruined my late mother's wedding gown, which I'd been preserving for my own wedding. When she asked to use my coastal cottage for her anniversary celebration, I agreed without mentioning the septic system issue I was aware of. Her dream party turned into a literal mess. My mom passed away from cancer when I was 16. Before she died, she entrusted her sister, my Aunt Margaret, with keeping her wedding dress safe for me. It was a stunning vintage gown from the early 90s, adorned with intricate lace and tiny beads she'd meticulously sewn on herself. I keep a photo of her on my phone, spinning in that dress, radiating joy. It's been my wallpaper for years. Every glance at it reminds me of her words. Some things are crafted with love, and you can feel it in every detail. She spent months attaching those beads, one by one, while watching old episodes of Seinfeld on our ancient VCR. My dad remarried to Cynthia 3 years after Mom's passing. Cynthia's always trying too hard to be the ideal wife and stepmom, constantly implying she's better at it than my mom ever was. She's obsessed with posting curated family photos on Instagram, captioning them with phrases like blended family joy or stepmom love, despite my repeated requests not to call herself my mom. Last Christmas, she made a TikTok about mending fractured families, using our photos without my consent. My college friend sent me the link when she saw it. Last month, I got engaged to Ethan. When I shared the news, Cynthia immediately started designing my wedding on her Pinterest, even though I said I wanted something intimate and simple. She created a board called Chic Bride Modern Vibes and shared it with her entire Facebook book club. I let it slide, but what came next was unforgivable. The dress was stored at my mom's best friend Lily's house, carefully sealed in a preservation box. Yesterday, Cynthia offered to pick it up since she was nearby and bring it to my place. I was on a Zoom call with my best friend Sarah when Cynthia arrived, carrying the box like it was a bag of laundry. She plopped it on my kitchen counter right beside an open bottle of Merlot. I thought it was odd since Cynthia always brags about only drinking Chardonnay because it's less messy. Then she insisted on opening the box right there, despite my suggestion to wait for my aunt. You can probably predict what happened. As she tugged the dress out, her arm accidentally knocked over the wine bottle. The entire contents poured onto the gown, but her reaction was what struck me. She didn't flinch or try to clean it up. She just paused with this odd smirk before launching into a theatrical, "oh no," act. It felt like one of those fake sob story videos you see on Reddit. I was still on Zoom with Sarah, who witnessed everything. She swears she saw Cynthia's hand nudge the bottle before it tipped, but the video was too grainy to be certain. Sarah started recording her screen, though, because something felt wrong. I called my dad in tears, and he gave his usual response. "Sweetie, it was an accident. Cynthia feels awful. We'll get you a new dress." He didn't get that it wasn't about the dress itself. It was about the last piece of mom I had for my wedding. This morning, Cynthia sent me a link to a $300 off-the-rack gown with a note. "This would suit you so much better anyway." Then she posted a lengthy Facebook status about how accidents happen for a purpose, and sometimes we must release the past to welcome the future. She tagged me, but I blocked her before reading the comments. Then she had the gall to ask if she and Dad could borrow my coastal cottage for their anniversary party next month. She knows it's the only thing I inherited from Mom's family. It's a small seaside bungalow my maternal grandparents left me, and Cynthia's been pushing me to sell it since she married Dad. She even had a realtor friend mistakenly listed online once. I said, "Sure, go ahead," with a smile she'd approve of, because what Cynthia doesn't know is that my handyman, Mike, called last week about a major septic tank problem. He sent me photos and texts on WhatsApp showing the issue. I just haven't had time to address it, and honestly, I might forget to mention it to her before her big event. She's already posting about her dreamy seaside anniversary on Instagram, complete with rented decor and a professional photographer. Thank you all for the support on my last post. It's helped me cope these past few days. I hesitated to share this update because I wanted to be certain about what I discovered. Here's what's new. After my last post, Lily, who stored the dress, called me sounding uneasy. She'd reviewed her doorbell camera footage from that day because something felt off. Cynthia didn't just visit once to grab the dress. The camera caught her driving by Lily's house at 8:15 a.m., circling the block twice. Lily only noticed because a neighbor texted about a car lingering nearby. She didn't think much of it then. When Cynthia returned at 2 p.m. for the pickup, she was carrying a Walmart bag. I know it's not solid proof, but seeing her carefully slip something from the bag into her purse before ringing the bell feels suspicious. The more I watch it, the more deliberate it seems. My stepsister Chloe has been texting me tidbits, but she's wary of getting too involved. She mentioned Cynthia was oddly obsessed with my engagement news, browsing wedding sites for hours, even before I mentioned wanting Mom's dress. I wasn't going to act on my suspicions until I met Aunt Margaret for coffee yesterday. She brought Dad's old laptop, which she'd used for their taxes. She's been helping with their finances since Mom passed. She showed me something she found while sorting receipts. There was a Walmart receipt from the morning of the incident, listing a bottle of Merlot, the exact brand spilled, some cleaning supplies, and a plastic tarp like you'd use for painting. Cynthia always says she only drinks Chardonnay because red wine stains her veneers. The receipt was time-stamped 6:30 a.m. When I showed Dad, he went silent. Not upset, just still. He kept twisting his old wedding band, the one from Mom, now on his right hand. Finally, he said, "I didn't want to admit it, but there's a pattern. I have Sarah's screen recording from our Zoom call, but it's too blurry to prove anything definitively. Still, I'm keeping it with all the other evidence. Dad told me about how last year's accidental donation of Mom's recipe books wasn't so accidental. He found them in the attic, packed and labeled for donation, weeks before Cynthia claimed she mistakenly gave them away. He stayed quiet because he thought I might not notice. That talk with Dad was heavy. He didn't cry or make grand promises. He just stared at his hands and said, 'I failed you, didn't I?' I let her do this. It was worse than if he'd been angry or emotional. Meanwhile, Cynthia's acting like nothing happened. She keeps sending me links to new dresses, each with a note about how they're more your style than Mom's dated gown. The cottage situation is still looming. She's created a Facebook event for their anniversary bash. 35 guests have RSVP'd, with more still responding. She's posting about her perfect coastal escape and tagging rental companies in her Instagram stories. Yesterday, she texted about table layouts and asked if the house has enough bathrooms for everyone. I still haven't mentioned what Mike told me about the septic system. His video from last week shows it's worsening. You can see water pooling in the yard after rain. He said it needs repairs before any big events, but I keep forgetting to tell Cynthia when she calls. Chloe's been staying at a friend's more often. She says the vibe at home is tense. Cynthia's been overly sweet to her, buying her pricey gifts from Amazon and offering spa trips. Chloe thinks she's trying to buy her silence about something, but isn't sure what. The dress restoration expert got back to me today. They said the wine stain was oddly concentrated, like it was poured, not spilled. They also found small tears in the lace from before the wine, likely from rough handling while still in the box. I keep staring at that photo of Mom in the dress. There's a bead detail on the cuff she said took her 3 nights to sew while watching Cheers reruns. That part's completely ruined now from the wine. It feels intentional, you know? Edit. Many of you are asking about my plans for the cottage party. Honestly, I'm letting it unfold naturally. The septic system is what it is. Edit 2. For those asking about the dress, yes, I'm keeping the expert's report. No, I'm not pursuing legal action. Some things resolve themselves. Edit 3. Dad just texted, asking to visit tomorrow. He says he found some old photos of Mom he wants to give me. Maybe he's finally ready to talk. Thanks for checking in. A lot's happened this week, and I want to update you on the cottage situation. Here's the latest. Cynthia's planning what she calls a cozy gathering, though her guest list has ballooned to 35. She texted this morning about parking, how many cars the driveway can hold, and the bathrooms. There are 2 bathrooms, right? That's enough? I keep thinking about mentioning the septic issue. Mike sent another text yesterday with a photo of the yard after rain, water's pooling in odd spots. He said the smell's getting noticeable. His exact message, "Hey, following up on the septic estimate. Needs fixing before any big parties? Worse with rain." Mike explained that while the septic system has chronic issues, rain makes it much worse, and heavy use from a large crowd would be disastrous. Dad visited yesterday. He's been subdued since the dress incident. He's been spending more time at the house he shared with Mom before Cynthia. He sat at my counter, flipping through old cottage photos he found in a box. "Remember when the water heater broke that summer?" he said. "Your mom had us all use the garden hose for days, called it an adventure." Then he got quiet and asked, "Anything I should know about the house? For the party?" I shrugged and said it was fine. He looked at me for a moment, then nodded. I think he suspects something, but he's not pressing. Chloe's been texting updates about Cynthia's plans. Nothing wild, just typical party prep. She ordered decorations from Amazon, string lights, coastal-themed centerpieces, and hired a local caterer. Chloe sent a photo of the supplies spread across their dining table. "Mom's being weirdly normal," she wrote. "Makes me almost feel bad about what might happen. Almost." Cynthia's been oddly nice to me lately, sending chatty texts about party details, asking my input on small things like she's including me. Yesterday, she even said she hoped I'd join the celebration. It'd feel sincere if I didn't keep picturing that smirk when she spilled the wine. I checked her Facebook through Chloe's account since she blocked me after the dress. She's keeping it subtle, just a few posts about a beautiful getaway with beach emojis. Nothing too flashy, which makes me more wary. Mike sent another update today. The septic company gave an estimate for repairs. It's costly, but that's not the main issue. They said it needs urgent attention, especially with heavy use. He sent a photo showing the ground sinking near the tank. His message was blunt. This'll be a mess with 30-plus people. I keep reaching for my phone to warn Cynthia, but then I remember things like how she accidentally donated Mom's recipe books, or how Mom's keepsakes keep vanishing when Cynthia organizes, or that smug look when the wine hit the exact spot to ruin Mom's dress. Chloe came over for coffee today. While helping Cynthia pack party supplies, she found the Walmart receipt for that Merlot in Cynthia's purse. "You know what's weird?" she said. "Mom never drinks red wine, says it stains her teeth, but she bought that bottle the morning she got the dress. The party's this Saturday. Cynthia asked me to leave the key under the mat Friday so they can set up early. She wants to rearrange furniture and set up a bar near the downstairs bathroom." I replied, "Sure, no issue," and muted my notifications. The septic problem isn't my doing. I didn't cause it. I didn't worsen it. It's just bad timing. At least that's what I tell myself. Edit. Chloe just sent a photo of Cynthia's party outfit. It's all white, naturally. The cottage party happened yesterday, and it went as expected, though the fallout was more intense than I imagined. I drove by around noon as guests arrived. Classic setup, white chairs, floral arrangements, catering tables. Cynthia was in a pricey white dress, directing everyone. Trouble started gradually. Chloe texted at 1:30. "Smell in the yard's bad." Mom's annoyed. Then, "Downstairs toilet's not flushing right." By 2 o'clock, both bathrooms were struggling. Guests kept mentioning the odor, but Cynthia played it off as low tide. At 2:30, my neighbor called. "Something's wrong with your yard." Water's pooling everywhere. Chloe's text picked up. "Ground's getting soggy. Mom's snapping at the caterers because people are asking to use their van's bathroom." Then it collapsed during their toast. The ground was so waterlogged that part of the deck sank slightly, enough to tip the buffet table. Their anniversary cake slid into the muck. Cynthia stepped into what she thought was wet grass and sank ankle-deep in it, in her white dress, in front of her whole social circle. Guests started leaving fast, not panicked, but with that awkward time-to-go vibe. The smell was unbearable, and the wet patches were spreading. That's when Cynthia lost it. She screamed that I'd intentionally ruined her party, that I'd orchestrated it all. She was calling people from the yard, trying to find a lawyer who'd answer on a Saturday. Mascara streaming, dress ruined. Dad wasn't his usual calm self. He was livid at me and Cynthia, yelling about repair costs, demanding why Cynthia planned such a big event without checking maintenance. Chloe recorded some of it. Cynthia ranting about lawsuits, Dad shouting about property damage, guests peeling out of the driveway. It was chaos. I've gotten about 30 texts. From Cynthia since. They range from legal threats to guilt trips to pure fury. "You set this up. My lawyer's on it. You've destroyed everything, just like your mother, always playing the victim. Dad's been calling nonstop too. He's not reflective anymore, just stressed about repair costs and saying things like, 'I don't know who I'm supposed to support here. You're both acting like kids.' He's staying at his brother's because Cynthia's too upset to face him for not backing her. The damage is real. The yard's a wreck. The downstairs carpet's trashed. The septic system needs replacing. Mike sent an estimate. It's steep. Cynthia's posted in our neighborhood Facebook group, asking for lawyer recommendations for property damage and intentional distress cases. Chloe's been sending updates. Cynthia's called every friend, claiming I sabotaged her party out of spite. She's had 3 contractors document the damage for potential lawsuits. I blocked Cynthia after her last text. "Think you're so smart? Just wait. That cottage won't be yours when my lawyers are done. Hope it was worth it." It's been a month since the septic tank fiasco at my cottage. I wasn't going to post again, but enough has happened to warrant an update. The aftermath was predictable. Cynthia contacted 3 lawyers, but their interest faded once they saw Mike's documented warnings about the septic system. Negligent property owner claims don't hold up when you host a 35-person party without checking maintenance. Repairs were costly, $21,000 for the new septic system, $3,000 for yard and carpet fixes. Insurance covered some after my deductible, but it hit my savings hard. Dad offered to split costs, which sparked a huge fight with Cynthia. They're still bickering. Cynthia's not speaking to me, obviously. She's resorted to vague Facebook posts about toxic relatives and property damage. Dad's trying to mediate with little success. He'll call about repairs, then clam up when I mention the dress. Last week, he said, "You both messed up. Can't we move on?" Typical dad, dodging conflict. Chloe's stuck in the middle. She stays with me some weekends, but Cynthia's made snide remarks about family loyalty, so Chloe's treading carefully. She deleted the party videos after Cynthia snooped through her phone while she slept. The cottage repairs are done. The new septic system works. The yard's fixed, and the carpets replaced. The cleanup crew did well. You wouldn't know there was a disaster, but the ripple effects are wild. Aunt Margaret's not speaking to Dad for staying neutral. 2 cousins canceled their usual cottage vacation to avoid the drama. Family gatherings are tense, with everyone scheduling to avoid conflicts. Cynthia's still at home, but spends weekends at her sister's to heal. She's talking about moving to a bigger house, saying the current one holds bad memories. Dad looks exhausted when it comes up. The dress is still in my closet. Restoration failed. The wine damage is permanent. I've started browsing new gown styles online. It's not the same, but I'm trying to look forward. Chloe said Cynthia's scouting beach houses elsewhere for a redo anniversary next year, without certain people. Dad stopped by last weekend to check the repairs. He walked the yard, then said, "Your mom would hate what this house has done to us." Not the profound moment some might expect. There's no big resolution, no divorce, no epiphanies, no family unity. Just strained holidays and careful scheduling to avoid run-ins. Edit. To those asking about legal outcomes, the lawyers said everyone should let it go. No strong case either way. Edit 2. Yes, I'm still getting married at the cottage. Cynthia says she won't come if I do. Dad's stressed, but that's a future problem.